"She told me to find the man with this tattoo," the little girl said, and every biker went pale. The rain fell in cold, relentless sheets the night Lily Hayes walked into Benny's Diner, a place tucked between rusted gas stations and faded highway signs, where truckers swapped stories and locals nursed their coffee in silence. No one expected a child that night, especially not alone. But there she stood, barefoot, shivering in a soaked yellow raincoat 2 sizes too big, her eyes wide with a fear too deep for a 7-year-old to carry. She scanned the room, her breath hitching with every step, until her gaze locked onto him. Jack Turner sat in the far booth, his leather vest stitched with the emblem of the Iron Phoenix Riders. His arms were crossed, but the sleeve of his worn-out shirt had rolled up just enough to reveal it. The tattoo, a phoenix rising from ashes, wings spread wide, eyes fierce with rebirth. Lily pointed a trembling finger. "She told me to find the man with this tattoo," she whispered, her voice cracking like thin ice. "My mommy said if I ever got lost, find the phoenix." Every biker in the diner went pale. Jack froze. That tattoo wasn't just ink, it was a vow. Years ago, he'd been left for dead on the side of a desert road after a brutal gang ambush. The woman who found him, Emma Hayes, hadn't just bandaged his wounds. She'd stayed up all night, singing lullabies to keep his fever down, whispering, "If I'm ever in trouble, you'll know what to do." He'd laughed it off then, but before she left at dawn, he'd made her a promise. "If you ever need me, I'll be there." Now, standing in front of him was her daughter, alone, terrified, and repeating words only Emma would know. Lily collapsed into his arms, sobbing. "They took her from our house. I hid in the closet, but they found me later at school. I ran and ran." Her voice trembled as she described a moldy room with no windows, the smell of rust and oil, and a man with a silver ring who never spoke her name. Jack's jaw tightened. The Iron Phoenix Riders lived by one creed: protect the innocent, never break a promise. Within minutes, the entire brotherhood surrounded Lily, their faces grim, their engines idling like thunder waiting to be unleashed. Using every clue Lily could recall, the hum of machinery, the echo of footsteps on metal grates, the distant wail of train horns, they pieced together a location. The old Caldwell steel plant, abandoned for over a decade and just 20 miles north. That night, under a blood-red moon, the riders rolled out, not as outlaws, but as guardians. Jack led the charge, his heart pounding with guilt and resolve. I should have checked on her. I should have known. Inside the plant, shadows danced like ghosts. But then, a whimper, a flicker of light from a basement grate. Jack descended alone, his boots echoing in the hollow silence. And there she was, Emma Hayes, bruised, exhausted, but alive, chained to a rusted boiler. When she saw Jack, tears spilled freely. "Lily?" she choked out. "She's safe," he said, breaking the lock with his bare hands. "I kept my promise." Outside, sirens wailed as police swarmed the site, alerted by an anonymous tip from a biker with a radio and a heart of steel. The man with the silver ring was caught trying to flee in a black van, Emma's kidnapper, a former business partner she'd exposed for fraud. Weeks later, under a golden afternoon sun, Lily ran through a sunlit park, laughter trailing behind her like ribbons. Emma watched from a bench, her hand resting gently on Jack's arm. "You didn't have to do all this," she said softly. Jack looked at Lily, now twirling in circles chasing butterflies, and smiled. "Yeah, I did. Because sometimes life gives you a second chance, not to fix your past, but to prove who you really are. Heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they wear leather, ride loud, and keep promises made in the dead of night. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that courage hides in unlikely places and that kindness can echo across years, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Every view helps us bring more emotional, cinematic tales of hope, redemption, and humanity to millions around the world. And don't forget to comment below, where are you watching from? Your words inspire us to keep telling stories that matter. Because in a world that often feels broken, stories like this remind us we're not alone.